ya voy, ya voy. Hi, I'm Isabella, and thank you for taking the time to take an interview with me. I will be asking you some questions about what you do as managing people. So, if you want, you could start by introducing yourself and giving me a little bit of a description of what you do for your job.
Hi, my name is Jesus Gonzalez. I am a CEO of Tostada Regia. We are a restaurant group. We are a company who does restaurants and Mexican concept restaurants. And what I do, uh, I lead a group of people to try to uh, manage the company and the restaurants, trying to have to obtain. To provide very good service to our customers and create um, loyalty in our customers and also manage the company properly in order to have a profitable business.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I will be around how many people do you manage on a daily basis? Would you say?
Well, the whole company is has around 400 employees, but me directly, I deal on daily basis with between 5 and 10 persons.
Mhm. And those people mainly consist of the upper level of the business, would you say that? Or,
No, well, yes, yes, you can say that it's upper level, yes,
okay.
but in different phases. Like for example, I deal with people who does management, other people who does accounting, other people who is in production. We have a central kitchen, so I deal with the head of the production unit. And also, I deal with district managers who oversee a number of restaurant units. But also, sometimes I deal with the actual restaurant managers at the actual units.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, what would you say is your biggest struggle with managing people, or yeah, what would you say your the biggest problems that you overcome?
Um, well, I think one of them is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things, messages, ideas don't get properly communicated, or the people doesn't get the idea that we are trying to establish.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the problems. Um, other very important aspect of managing people is in order to have a good performer, it's very important to make a good selection of the person and make sure that the person you are going to assign for a specific task has the right skills and then training. It is very important to make sure people has the proper training and basically those are the important things in order to have a good result.
Mm-hmm. Could you give me of an example of maybe like of a struggle that has overcome recently with people?
Well,
Or
we have some. I mean, well, for example, we have miscommunications often. For example, recently we launched a launch special. Where we are going to offer to our customers an attractive price for some food items, and the idea was that these lunch specials were going to be shown to our customers in we call it insert. That is, this is like a menu that we put inside our big menu, and that was not understood, and they did they did put this lunch special menu in the front cover of the menu, and that was not what we were trying to do.
Hmm.
It's not really a big problem, but it's an example of how things get confused sometimes.
I get that. Um, how do you define good employees' performance in your team? So when it comes with hiring or maybe deciding whether you want to keep that person in your team, how would you determine those characteristics?
Well, something very important is the attitude of the person. If a person really has the desire uh, and shows a commitment to do whatever the person can to do a good a good performance, is very important that the person has the intention, the attitude to do it. That they really care, they really want to do it. That is the main thing to try to define who is a good employee. And also, it's very obvious, but the person needs to have the skills to do what you are expecting.
Do you ever accept people who don't have all the skills and you kind of teach them in a way?
Well, not intentionally, because when you interview persons, you get an idea sometimes, and according to their resume and according to the interview, you get an idea of the skills they have.
Mhm.
But later, when they are actually performing, sometimes those skills are not exactly what was expected. You know, that happened, but that is normal. And what is important on that is to train the person, communicate, guide the person until the person gets to the level of performance desire.
Mhm. Okay. Um, what strategies do you use to motivate or support your employees?
Well, to motivate, we have mainly two things. Uh, One of them is recognition of achievements. Is make them be aware that we notice a great achievement, and congratulate them because of that. If possible, do it in public. Give them like a diploma, or like a trophy for excellent performance. That is one way, and another is um, bonuses in money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if they achieve specific goals, or they meet specific criteria of performance, they get a bonus.
Okay. So you ever sometimes think of um, instead of giving them bonuses, it's taking away, like if you're trying to make people do something you want them to do, let's say they're not really listening and you just say, oh, I'm gonna take out some money from your.
Of course, yes. I mean, the bonus is given if good performance is done.
Mhm.
If they do according to expectations. If they don't, then they don't get a bonus.
Okay. Um, can you share an example of when a strong employee manager relationship improved their performance? So having a relationship between you and one of your employees, having such a strong relationship with that employee has been able to make him or her perform better because of the relationship you have between that employee.
Well, I think the relationship by itself it's important, but a good performer is a good performance is how can I explain this? There are several aspects that work together uh, in order to have a good performer employee. A good relationship with them is one of the aspects that is very important. It's very important to have a good relationship with your manager or whoever you are is under your guidance or leadership. It's very important to have a good, strong relationship. It's very important to make the person feel comfortable around you. It's very important to have a good communication to make them feel appreciated.
Mhm.
That is very important. But also that is not alone. That comes with also a responsible person that they really have the interest in doing a great job, um, and also i- also that make sure that they have the tools, the right tools to perform according to what is expected. So there are several aspects that work together. It's not only one thing.
Mhm. Would you care to give like an example of maybe in that case, something like that?
Well, I can give examples of for example, so sometimes talking about communication, sometimes when you see a person that all of a sudden start underperforming, sometimes if you pay attention to them and you listen to them and you talk to them and you know what is happening to them, they may improve. They could improve. You
Mhm.
know that happened with one of our managers in one of our stores. She got in some troubles with the personnel under her command, and we basically we moved her to a new store. So we gave her the opportunity to start fresh, and also we talked to her and we told her about the problems she had,
Mhm.
and it looks like she's doing much better in the new store.
Would you do that with every employee, or would you kind of see if it's right or wrong what that employee did?
No, you cannot do that with all employees. The first thing you have to determine if the person really has an interest and a commitment in the company.
Mhm.
That is the first thing you have to realize. If you see that, then yes, of course, you give them an opportunity. You try to guide them. You try to teach them to become better.
Mhm. Yes. Um, what are challenges that you face when managing different personalities or people who have different work styles?
Well, that is a very good question, especially here in Houston. Houston is a very diverse city, so there is people with different backgrounds. So culturally, people react differently to ideas and to messages, you know, and that is a challenge that sometimes being in a diverse group, uh, the ideas don't get necessarily conveyed in the desired way, and you have to go back and you have to explain yourself again. Okay,
Mhm.
sometimes you can offend without intention. You can offend somebody because of culturally ideas, and
Mhm.
then you need to clarify that what is really happening, that you were not trying to offend them, or people understand differently. So it's communication, cultural background that affects, but can be resolved.
Can read. Okay. Um, what would you, is there certain personalities that your company tends to avoid?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We are a service oriented company. We provide service to customers. So we cannot work with people who doesn't have communication skills, you know, that don't have customer service skills. You know, we need to have people who feels uh, well dealing with customers and basically trying to make our customers happy. So they need to have a strong customer satisfaction uh, idea. You know, not all people has that. You know, some people is different. They have a like a more selfish style, and that kind of people cannot work in our. Is not the best to work in our company.
Mhm. Would you say because you manage different parts of it, because you manage the restaurant part, also the corporate part, and also the kitchen, does those all places have different personalities that you're looking for more?
Definitely, definitely. For example, the head of our accounting department needs to have different personality and skills than the head of operations for the restaurants. You know, they have a completely different uh, style.
Um, Next one. How would you handle situations when an employee's performance declines? So,
Well, yes. First of all, uh, that has to be clearly communicated to the employee. A meeting is done with the employee, and the situation is clearly communicated. We let the person know that he or she is not performing according to standards, and we document that, and we make a commitment of improvement, and then we review the outcome in a specific period of time in the future. We make sure that she or he has really improved.
what would you do if that were to happen again?
If you mean if the person doesn't improve?
Yes, if she's declining and you give her a chance and explain her to explain herself or theirself, but
Well, yeah, if that happens, the person may be terminated, you know, because that indicates that the person is not committed
mhm,
with our company. But what we do, we document all of that. We do everything we can to try to make the person perform according to what we need. We help the person, we help the person as much as we can. So it's really up to the person to do it or not. And sometimes that the person either decides not to do it or is not able to do it for uh, one reason or another. And at the end, sometimes they need to be let go.
okay. Um, so these types of questions are gonna be for maybe like the employee and also the manager side, so I could get an idea of what both of y'all kind of think. But can you describe what motivates you or your team in most of the works? I know you said like in the beginning you like to put bonuses and kind of have a communication and connection with the employees, but is there anything else that on a daily basis maybe that helps motivate your employees to
There is something very important that motivates everybody, and is the feeling of achievement. Human beings in general, all of us, we need to have a feeling of achievement. So regardless of there is a bonus or not there, we need to feel that we are getting somewhere. You
Mhm.
know that we are doing something good, and we are something we are giving something good to somebody, you know. So that is a very strong motivation in most of the people. Tell them, hey, we have done this and we did achieve this. They really feel good about it.
Okay. Um, what challenges or barriers make it harder to perform well with you and your employees, would you say?
Well, there are many. Um, Sometimes, some people, it's really variable, uh sometimes there is people who needs a lot of attention, you know
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't have the time to provide them with that attention, then they can just uh you know go really bad, get demotivated, and really you know start to struggle,
Mm-hmm.
so that is one thing. I would say lack of time to give the needed attention could be, um, uh, communication, lack of proper communication or good communication. I would say those two are the main things.
What would you do that, like, as you say, that there's some people who require more attention, and I know that you're one person and you have to work with a lot of people. How would you fix that with giving attention to that person?
How do we fix giving attention to the person?
Or I would say, like, because I know you have many employees,
Mhm.
and if that person requires more attention of you, how do you balance working with the rest of the employees and the person who requires the most attention? Has there been times where you have maybe two employees that both require a lot of your time, and um, what would you do in that situation, or how would you work that out?
No, well, no, you cannot give a lot of your time to anybody. You know, you only can give some time to people. You
Mhm.
know, so you give them some attention, some time, and you expect that they react. You know,
Mhm.
it's impossible to being with somebody there all the time. And that's how it is. And even though I manage a lot of areas as a CEO of the company, but I do it through other people. you know I have people who is in charge of different departments in the organization, and I just provide them direction, or provide them with basically with the direction, or I also clarify doubts that they may have.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I think this may conclude that's all the questions I have for you. So this
Mhm.
concludes our interview, but thank you very much for taking the time and responding these questions. And I hope you have a very good day.
Thank you.